Benjamin Franklin was born on January 17, 1706. He was the eighth child of 17 children. This was Benjamin Franklin's birthplace in Boston, Massachusetts, on a street called Milk Street. At the age of 11, Benjamin Franklin invented swimming fins to help him swim faster. Although the original ones were made of wood, the ones we use today are plastic. At the age of 17, Benjamin Franklin decided to run away from home and go to Philadelphia. He was able to find a job in printing. A year later he went to London and again found work in printing. A couple years after that adventure he returned to Philadelphia and opened his own printing shop. In 1729 Franklin bought the Pennsylvania Gazette, which he not only owned but he wrote for also, though he did use an alias when he wrote his articles. In 1754 Franklin started to put cartoons in the newspaper. One of the first cartoons was one named Joy or Die. In December 1732 Benjamin first published Poor Richard's Almanac, which he has become famous for. The almanac was published for 25 years and translated into other languages as well. Although people knew who wrote the almanac, Franklin used a fake name and not his own. In 1737 the British Crown appointed Benjamin Franklin to be the postmaster of Philadelphia. It was because of him that the first colonial post office was formed. Then in 1775 the Continental Congress established the first United States Post Office, in which Benjamin Franklin was made the Postmaster General. Benjamin Franklin was the first to discover that lightning was indeed electricity. He was able to create a device that is called a lightning rod, which protects buildings from being struck by lightning and destroyed. Franklin was an incredible inventor. A year or two after inventing the lightning rod, he invented the Franklin stove. This stove was used to heat a room like a fireplace, but it put out more heat and less smoke. It also used less wood. Not only was Franklin an inventor, but he also founded many places. In 1751 he founded the first public library. For a fee members would get a subscription to check out books. This system he developed is how the first public library started. Also in 1751 he was one of the founders of the first public hospital in Philadelphia. This was the first hospital that poor people were allowed to go to and also the model for what our hospitals are today. Still making a name for himself and changing the world, Franklin organized the first volunteer fire department in 1752 in Philadelphia. Because it was so successful, fire departments started popping up all over the city. Not only did Franklin put together a fire department, but he also put together fire insurance. By paying a fee the person would have their belongings repaired or replaced. Also with making all of this happen, who better to put out those fires than Benjamin Franklin himself? Yes, Franklin became a volunteer firefighter. Back at inventing. In 1762 Franklin invented the glass harmonica, but today it is known as the harmonica. Mozart and Beethoven were two well-known musicians who used Franklin's invention. In 1765 when the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act many Americans were not happy. It was Benjamin Franklin who stepped up to lead Americans' cause, and in March 1766 the Stamp Act was repealed. This act by Franklin led to him being the leading spokesperson for American in England. Benjamin Franklin was chosen to be one of the 5 people to write the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration announced that the colonies would regard themselves as independent states. This was put into effect on July 4, 1776. One of Franklin's inventions that is used by many today is the bifocals. Made in 1784, he came up with this idea by taking 2 pairs of glasses, one for seeing far away, and one for seeing up close, and put the lenses together. He took the lenses out of both glasses, cut them in half, and put half of one and half of the other together, making a bifocal lens. Benjamin Franklin was a huge inspiration to the United States. He did many things for our country and its people. He was always looking for ways that he could make things better. His inventions prove that. Benjamin Franklin died on April 17, 1790. He was one of the founding fathers of the United States, and he will forever be remembered for the amazing things he has done.